It's a little bit of a wet, rainy day today, which kind of got me thinking about water sports photography. And I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. So, water sports photography, and how is it different from, regular sports photography? Well, the first thing you'll notice is that usually most of the indoor swimming pools, because most of swimming sports takes place during the wintertime, they're not very well lit. A lot of times you'll go to a public YMCA, or some of the nicer schools will have a nicer area. And if you're doing professional sports photography, you might have a really nice area to do it. But if you're doing more in the low end, schools, the lighting is just going to be terrible in a lot of areas. So, but other than lighting, you'll notice that it's just a difficult thing to shoot. Sometimes the autofocus doesn't know how to act, because there's, the swimmers will be going in water, out of water, back and forth, and the autofocus will kind of jump around whether it wants to autofocus on a water droplet or the actual swimmer. So it's kind of something you have to get used to with trial and error. An important thing with water sports photography is knowing where to be at the right time. Now, every swim meet is different, and the order they do things is different sometimes, but knowing what kind of swim is taking place, because usually they will announce it before the type of swim they're going to do, and knowing the best place to be is really important. So the best photos to get when you're doing water sports photography are going to be during the breaststroke and the butterfly. Ridiculous names, I know, but those are typically swims where they'll kind of, face forward down the lane, hop out of the water to breathe, and you can get great photos of them splashing the water up, face. Remember, when you're doing this kind of photography, getting people's faces are really important. Those are the type of photos that clients are looking for. You're going to want to go right at the end of the lane where they're swimming right at you. That way you can get down low and get a bunch of shots of them coming out of the water, and those shots just tend to look really great. Now, the rest of the actual swims are a little bit more difficult to photograph, because they don't really look, down the barrel at you, right? You want to actually come to the side during the front crawl and the backstroke, because then you can get photos of them. They'll come out to breathe, usually on the sides. So pay attention on how they're swimming, because every type of swimmers has a different type of swimming technique. Sometimes you'll see swimmers that they only want to breathe out on the right side. They'll breathe. Now some other ones will switch it up. They'll go and breathe on both sides. So paying attention on what swimmer is doing what and being where you need to be is crucial.